initiatives aimed at expanding healthcare access for residents. First Lady urges Nigerian youth to key into government empowerment programs. Abroad, South Africa former president barred from May elections. Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us on Delta Television News tonight. My name is Onome Iyarowe. The State Contributory Health Commission has urged all stakeholders, especially those in the diaspora, to support initiatives aimed at expanding healthcare access for all residents of the state. The Director General of the Delta State Contributory Health Commission, Dr. Isaac Akboveta, stated this at the distribution of health insurance cards to Indigent Enrollee Adoption Initiative, who are adoptees of the Oganihu Umogbekum Foundation in Onicholona in Aniocha North. Bridget Adetu completes the report.
Dr. Akboveta noted that the Indigent Enrollee Adoption Initiative, pioneered by the State Contributory Health Commission, was aimed at ensuring that all residents, irrespective of socio-economic status, had access to quality health care. He stressed that health care should not be a luxury reserved for the privileged few, adding that it was a fundamental human right that must be guaranteed for all.
It is heartening to see the spirit of solidarity and community support exemplified by this foundation, whose noble gesture will provide essential health care for those who need it most.
The Director General urged all to be inspired by the selflessness and dedication of the foundation that had demonstrated profound empathy and commitment to the well-being of the people in their community. He disclosed that at the end of March, enrollment statistics stood close to 2 million, adding that the figures were a testament to the trust and confidence that the people of the state placed in the commission. Dr. Akboveta commended Governor Sheriff Oborowori for his continued political and financial support to the commission and the leadership of the Oganiru Umu Ogbenike Foundation for the adoption and purchase of health insurance for 100 vulnerable individuals in Olona community.
Together we can build a more inclusive and compassionate society where everyone has the opportunity to live a healthy and dignified life. Let us see this movement as a call for action, a reminder that our collective strength lies in our ability to care for one another and uplift those who are less fortunate. This is what the MORE agenda of the Oborowori administration stands for. Think more and do more for your neighbor.
The chairman of the Delta State Health Contributory Health Commission, Honorable Austin Obidi, in his remark, said enrollee satisfaction will be at the front burner of the commission in line with the MORE agenda of the state governor in ensuring that every resident had access to quality healthcare services with financial constraint.
DG and I and the commission, in conjunction with the Hospitals Management Board, we are completely agreed that enrollee satisfaction should be on the front burner. What do I mean by that? You get to the hospitals, you get proper treatment, and we'll be having advocacy whereby we interact with one another to explain the running of our health insurance scheme.
The Director General of the Foundation, Mr. Chukwugozie Anthony, said the enrollment of the people was to uplift those who are less fortunate and pledged to enroll more community members.
If you are not healthy, there's nothing you can do in life. So immediately we saw this as we are coming in for our activities, which we do biannually, this foundation. We decided that we are going to key into this program. And we are hoping that the experience of those who have registered will be pleasant so as to encourage the 1,000 enrollment that we expect. Our children locally and in diaspora are capable and willing to rescue the life of our people.
Some beneficiaries of the initiative commended the foundation for the gesture and advised the commission to ensure that health facilities were properly equipped to meet the health needs of the people.
So on this issue, it took us time. And we said it would be bad. We are burying somebody with 3 million. We raise funds. But just simple treatment, maybe typhoid or so, no person cares. So we said we should key into this program and register as many as possible.
It is our belief that with what is going on now, that the authorities will look more into how to equip the hospitals.
It will help me for my health. Anytime that I feel sick, I will use the card, go to General Hospital, then they will treat me freely.
Delta State Contributory Health Commission later presented the foundation with a plaque of honor as the health insurance ambassador of the state. Bridget Agetu reporting.
Governor Sharif Oborewori has congratulated the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Imomotimi Gowo, on his 44th birth anniversary. In a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Sir Festus Ahon, Governor Oborewori joined the state legislature, Warri Southwest constituents, friends and family of Honorable Gowo in celebrating him as a man of great destiny. He said the Speaker had made invaluable contributions to good governance as well as growth and development of the state. The Governor commended Honorable Gowo on his wise direction of the legislature, noting in particular that the calm disposition had persisted in the House, and the sustenance of the strong and positive relationship between the legislature and the other arms of government. He said the state parliament, under the leadership of Honorable Gowo, had remained very peaceful and always ready for early passage of bills that directly impact on the lives of the people. The governor celebrates the Speaker's lifestyle in the discharge of his functions, as well as his people-oriented legislations. He said he was proud of his sterling accomplishments, as well as all that his colleagues achieved so far in terms of passing people-oriented bills and resolutions for good governance and growth of the state, in line with his more agenda for Deltans. He prayed for wisdom and good health for Honorable Gowo. The Speaker of the State House of Assembly, the Right Honorable Imomotimi Gowo, has been described as a detribalized and patriotic Deltan whose leadership powers in the legislative arm of government has consistently upscaled neutrality and good conduct of lawmaking in the 8th Assembly. The commendation is contained in a congratulatory message by the Executive Assistant on Communication to the State Governor and Head of the State Orientation Bureau, Dr. Fred Ogenesiwe, on the occasion of the Speaker's 44th birth anniversary. Dr. Ogenesiwe noted that the hallowed chamber had been peaceful and vibrant with robust deliberations, as could be seen from the conduct of legislative business of the state since the inauguration of the 8th Assembly on June 13 last year. He said Honorable Gowo's effective leadership skills, uncommon humility, result-oriented team player techniques, transparency, and open-door policy had unveiled him as a quintessential helmsman of the legislative branch of government, determined to contribute meaningfully to the advancement of Delta State and to the service of humanity. The executive assistant thanked God for the colorful destiny and exemplary life of the Speaker, wishing him good health, uncommon wisdom, and God's blessings in the years ahead. Nigerians today joined others around the world to observe the April Fool's Day, the April Fool's Day or Fool's Day, consisting of practical jokes and hoaxes. The observance is not limited to the public domain, as even the mass media had known to be involved in these pranks. Sams Okojide brought a report in that regard.
And here is a breaking news. The federal government has reduced the pump price of fuel to 200 naira per liter. This was a prank I played on some residents of Asaba. A few reacted in jubilation to the news that fuel would now be sold for 200 naira per liter instead of the regular price of between 600 and 700 naira, while the majority expressed disbelief, saying such kind of things could hardly happen in Nigeria.
Citizens of the Nigeria will be very, very glad because of that fuel that it makes food product and the rest of things go higher, which everybody is suffering because of that. And happy, I'm very, very happy because everything will calm down in Nigeria. We are not going to suffer as we are suffering because of the fuel price.
What?
It's not possible.
Why do you say it's not possible?
No, Nigeria. I think you told me now. I think you are telling me now that fuel is up to 1,000 naira.
The respondents, however, wished that the joke could become a reality. There were also mixed reactions regarding the prank news that a bag of rice was now 10,000 naira and that the federal government had agreed to pay 500,000 naira as a new minimum wage.
Now I'm so the entire US, now we've been Nigeria with it.
You are doing well.
How do you feel?
It's not possible. Nobody this country, we me and you did. I like, it's not possible.
Oh wait.
500,000
Yeah.
for Nigeria.
Yes.
Not be implemented.
How do you feel? How do you feel?
No, not be live.
I don't believe.
Yes, I don't believe.
I cannot believe.
500K. Find out from your phone now. You have a phone now. Go online right now.
500,000 minimum. This country now government gets some. It's for a selected few.
You don't want to listen to it.
It's for a selected few. It's not for you. It's not for me. It's for the government. So how government will increase minimum wage to 500K? You know what I mean? They're not still sleeping. They're not still sleeping.
Relax now. You know, see my lecturer talk. My lecturer said the government.
Country collect low when we say we'll take 500K.
This God is so. This God is so that do it yourself. Government will never tell it for you. Do it yourself. Provide life by yourself. Provide water for yourself. Even road self, provide roads for everything. Now do it yourself. Yeah, government will never give you minimum wage of 500K. It's a dream. In 20 years to come, you'll never get minimum.
So how much if you say the minimum wage is supposed to be?
If they feel, nowadays they feel like 10K, 20K trading. Well, it's 30K every time.
50K.
How much be minimum? Not be 30K, 30K like minimum.
Let me tell you
If they
something.
carry and go 50 or 70K.
Let me tell you something, even though the government increased this minimum wage to 500K, they will still bring up a lot of the unnecessary tasks and stuff. Like at the end of the day, after paying some tasks, some this and this, the whole money, you still end up in that. You're not going to finish anything. They will implement a lot of nonsense. That way, at the end of the day, the 500K, you won't be able to use it for anything meaningful. We start paying a lot of taxes, unnecessary tasks.
I don't believe that too. Rice that are selling 90-something thousand, and now they reduce all of a sudden to 10,000 naira. It's not possible.
Meanwhile, some others were unaware that it was the month of April and the April Fool prank was already in the air.
Okay, today in April. I forget you.
All in all, the reactions are an indication that many Nigerians are not hopeful of any good news in the country soon. Sams Opujite reporting.
Of Senegal's president-elect, Mr. Bassirou Faye. President Tinubu's special advisor on media and publicity, Mr. Ajurin Gelale, in a statement, said the president would join the regional leaders to witness the inauguration at the Demiadeo Exhibition Center, Dakar. President Tinubu, who is the chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, is visiting the country for the first time since assuming office at the invitation of the Senegal government, and will be accompanied on the trip by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Yusuf Tuga, and other senior government officials. The First Lady, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, has advised Nigerian youth to expand their horizon and financial status by exploring the different programs of government. She gave the advice today while welcoming members and executives of the youth wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria, YOWICAN, to the State House, Abuja, amidst the Easter celebrations. Mrs. Tinubu received the association with the exchange of season's greetings and prayer that God would continually lift the nation and its youth to greater heights. She congratulated the group for the giant strides it had been able to achieve since it started. Mrs. Tinubu also encouraged the executive to involve female youth in their executive arm. The federal government has said installation of closed-circuit television, CCTV, and solar lights is currently ongoing as part of security measures on the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos. The Minister of Works, Mr. David Umahi, disclosed this when he appeared on a television program. Recall that the bridge had been under repairs for weeks, causing gridlock to motorists and other road users. But according to the minister, the Third Mainland Bridge is built to reopen in the coming days. He said the repair work on the bridge and the installation of CCTV were targeted at combating crime and illegal mining around the bridge. The Kebbi State Commissioner for Agriculture, Alhaji Shehu Muazu, has said that the unfortunate looting that took place in Kebbi has nothing to do with the Kebbi government, and the food items stolen belong to the Dangote Foundation. Alhaji Muazu, in a press conference in Birni Kebbi yesterday, accused the Dangote Foundation of diverting truckloads of 5 kg rice without informing the security agencies, which raised suspicion by members of the public who thought perhaps they want to hoard it with the intent to deny them the items, hence the reason for the sporadic looting in the state. The state government, however, condemned the looting and described the looters as miscreants looking for an opportunity to strike, warning that such would be met with strong consequences. He explained that a 13-man committee had been set up to investigate the cause of the looting and report to government within 5 days. The resolution was taken after the extraordinary security meeting was held earlier to strategize on how to curtail future occurrence. The National Examinations Council, NECO, has concluded arrangements to conduct the Senior School Certificate Examination, SSCE, internal in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This follows the successful accreditation of Nigeria International School, Jeddah, by a delegation led by the Minister of State for Education, Dr. Yusuf Sununu, and the Registrar of NECO, Professor Dantani Wushishi. In a statement, the examination body said during the visit, the delegation undertook an assessment of the school facilities and had an interactive session with the management and staff of the school. It enjoined the staff and students of the school to continue to be good ambassadors of Nigeria, not only in Saudi Arabia, but in the entire Gulf States Cooperation Council. Non-teaching staff in the nation's public universities are set for an indefinite industrial action following the non-payment of their withheld salaries. The workers are under the aegis of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, the National Association of Academic Technologists, NAT, and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Education and Allied Institutions, NASU. They are protesting the non-payment of their salaries withheld as a result of their strike in 2022. The non-teaching staff have 5.5 months' salaries withheld by the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. President Bola Tinubu last October directed that 4 months' salaries be paid university staff, but only teaching staff were paid last February, leaving non-teaching staff out. The non-teaching staff 2 weeks ago embarked on warning strike to press home their demands. The national president of NAT, Ahmed Ibeji Nwokoma, said the House of Representatives had waded into the matter. The national president of SANU, Mr. Mohammed Ibrahim, said members went on strike in March 2022, and it was over the refusal of the government to fulfill the 2009 agreement they had with the government. The agreement was to be negotiated every 3 years, but that was not done. You're watching the Delta Television May News. Still to come, South Africa former president barred from May elections. Details of this and other reports in a moment. Please stay tuned. The global scene is next as we join our World News Desk.
South Africa Independent Electoral Commission has said that former President Jacob Zuma is not eligible to run in upcoming elections. The former president has until tomorrow to appeal. The commission said at a media briefing that it had upheld an objection against Zuma's candidacy in the May 29 elections. In July 2021, Mr. Zuma was sentenced to 15 months in prison for defying a court order to appear before a judicial commission that was investigating corruption allegations during his 2009 to 2018 presidency. He was granted medical parole after 2 months and allowed to serve the rest of the sentence under house arrest. South Africa's constitution bars people convicted and sentenced to more than 12 months imprisonment without an option of a fine from holding public office. Mr. Zuma and his legal team stormed out of the judicial proceedings when he was asked about wide-ranging allegations of corruption during his rule, including the role of an Indian family, the Guptas, who allegedly had influence over his cabinet appointments. He is now the face of a new political party, Umkhonto weSizwe Party, abbreviated as MK, that has emerged as a potentially significant player in South Africa's upcoming elections after he denounced the governing African National Congress, ANC, which he had previously led. The new party is named after the former military wing of the ANC, which was disbanded at the end of the white minority rule and racial segregation policies under the former apartheid regime. Mr. Zuma's announcement that he is leaving the ANC has been one of the notable developments ahead of the elections.
In the matter affecting the former president, the commission, Judge Pillay recused. She recused. And I think it's fundamental because this process is a process that has to be safeguarded and Judge Pillay recused not because we said so, because she understood how these matters relate and their weightiness on the work.
Russia President Vladimir Putin has signed a decree setting out the routine spring conscription campaign, calling up to 150,000 citizens for statutory military service. All men in Russia are required to do a year-long military service or equivalent training during higher education from the age of 18. In July, Russia's lower house of parliament voted to raise the maximum age at which men can be conscripted to 30 from 27. The new legislation came into effect on January 1st this year. Compulsory military service has long been a sensitive issue in Russia, where many men go to great lengths to avoid being handed conscription papers during the twice-yearly call-up periods. Conscripts cannot legally be deployed to fight outside Russia and were exempted from a limited mobilization in 2022 that gathered at least 300,000 men with previous military training to fight in Ukraine, although some conscripts were sent to the front in error. In September, President Putin signed an order calling up 130,000 people for the autumn campaign, and last spring, Russia planned to conscript 147,000. Israel has withdrawn its forces from Gaza Al-Shifa Hospital following a 2-week operation leaving behind scenes of devastation. The Israeli military confirmed the Saudi pullback today, saying it had completed operational activity in the area of the hospital and claiming to have killed and captured numerous Hamas fighters. Witnesses report a spot of death and destruction at the medical complex, where a large number of displaced Palestinians were sheltering. The army launched a raid on Gaza's largest hospital in the northern Gaza city on March 18. It says it was targeting Hamas fighters who were using the complex as a base. Israel forces made similar claims throughout the war that broke out in October, as they have besieged several hospitals in Gaza. Hamas has denied operating for Al-Shifa or other health facilities. Al-Shifa, which endured a previous siege in November, now appears to be largely in ruins.
And back on the home front, following Thursday's national collapse, the transmission company of Nigeria, TCN, has raised alarm over a planned attack on its facilities in Zuba, Gwagwalada area of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The TCN disclosed this in a statement in Abuja, saying it had been alerted of planned attacks on the power installations in Zuba. It called for heightened vigilance while reiterating the firm's commitment to managing the national grid and ensuring its stability amid ongoing challenges such as the persistent low gas supply affecting power generation in the nation's grid. The company acknowledged the collaborative efforts of the federal government, particularly the Minister of Power, who has been working hard to address the root causes of low gas supply, adding that the minister had held meetings with generating companies and gas companies to secure a higher volume of gas supply and consistency for enhanced power generation. The National Association of Block Molders of Nigeria, NABMON, has urged the federal government to reduce import duties on cement manufacturing components to attract more foreign investment in the sector. The national president of NABMON, Mr. Adesegun Banjoko, gave the advice in a statement issued today in Lagos. He said the price of one bag of cement in Nigeria, currently in the region of 7,000 and 8,000 naira, was still considered too expensive. The federal government and cement manufacturers had in February in Abuja agreed on a 7,000 naira to 8,000 naira price range for one bag of 50 kg cement. However, cement manufacturers said the cement price reduction wasn't guaranteed, indicating that the sustainability of the price decrease was dependent on the government following through on its promises to address certain industry challenges. Mr. Banjoko, in the statement, said the threat by the government to open up the borders to increase supply had also not brought down the prices. The NABMON president also advised the government to encourage cement smuggling to neighboring countries, or to discourage cement smuggling to neighboring countries. Mr. Banjoko said that Nigeria had a larger population and presumably a higher demand for cement, yet it lagged behind South Africa in production facilities. And to sports now. Warri Wolves yesterday defeated Greenhorns Delta Mariners 2-0 at the final of the 2024 Delta State Football Association Cup at the Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba. Henry Usiayo has details.
It was the first ever appearance of Delta Marines in the FA Cup, as the team that is barely 14 months gave a good account of themselves, but succumbed to the superiority of Warri Wolves. Goals from Yusuf Omotayo and Collins Onovue in both halves was enough to hand the Seasiders the victory, despite missing clear-cut chances that would have seen them margin more than that.
An opportunity for Warri Wolves. What happens with the goalkeeper? That is a look, and that is a good layup. A shield and deliver for Warri.
Warri Wolves head coach Johnny Austin, in an interview, described the victory as a booster to the team as they continue to seek promotion to the Nigeria Premier Football League next season.
They played to instruction. But you know, sometimes because of the reaction from the fans and the rest, they may play out of instruction. But I believe that what they played today, they played to instruction. Yes, we are expecting nothing more than for us to win. We are condemned to win that game because that game is one thing that will put us on the race for the table.
In the same vein, the Chief Executive Officer of Delta Marine, Mr. Elo Adepokuli, hailed his team for reaching the final and noted that the club will begin preparation in order to effectively represent the state when the Federation Cup kick off.
We've come this far, so we can only thank God and also give kudos to the players and the coaches for the work they've put in such a short period of time. Definitely, there are so many areas for improvement, and definitely we're always looking out for players that can beef up the team.
Earlier, in the women category of the Delta State Football Association Cup, reigning Nigeria Women Football League champions, Delta Queens thrashed Delta Babes 5-0 to retain the DFA Cup. Goals from Chisom Henry, Nwachukwu Chisom, Taiwo Afolabi, and a brace for Blessing Ifetuezu. And a brace from Blessing Ifitezue was enough to hand Delta Queens the title, which they have successfully defended 3 times. All the finalists will represent Delta State when the Federation Cup gets underway soon. Henry Usiayu reporting.
Oshola will be the last player to arrive at the Super Falcons club or camp ahead of Friday's 2024 Olympic Games qualifier against the Banyana of South Africa. Oshola will arrive at the camp on Thursday, a day before the first leg. The Super Falcons open camp for the 2-legged contest on Sunday. Head coach Randy Wandrum is already in camp alongside the quartet of Rashidat Ajibade, Ashley Ponther, Linda Jewaku, and Jumoke Alani. The Super Falcons will welcome Banyana to the Moshood Abiola Stadium, Abuja, on Friday before both teams clash again in Pretoria 5 days later. The winner will join Brazil, Japan, and Spain in Group C at the Olympic Games in Paris in July and August. Enugu lawyer shot dead after delivering ransom. Well, our apologies for that mix-up. That's the size of our bulletin for tonight. Just before we go, here is the thought. Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind, but led by the dreams in your heart. Well, that's the size of our bulletin. Just before we go, here is the highlights. The State Contributory Health Commission has urged all stakeholders, especially those in the diaspora, to support initiatives aimed at expanding healthcare access for all residents of the state. The Director General of the Delta State Contributory Health Commission, Dr. Isaac Akboveta, stated this at the distribution of health insurance cards to indigent enrollee adoption initiative who are adoptees of the Oganihu Umu Ogbokini Foundation in Onecholona in Anyocha North. Nigerian First Lady, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, has advised Nigerian youth to expand their horizon and financial status by exploring the different programs of the government. She gave the advice today while welcoming members and executive of the youth wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria, YOWICAN, to the State House, Abuja, amidst the Easter celebrations. In South Africa, Independent Electoral Commission has said that former South African President Jacob Zuma is not eligible to run in the upcoming elections. So much for Delta Television News. On behalf of the news editor and the production team, this is Onome Iyarowe, thanking you for watching. Do have a beautiful night rest and a great month of April.
Access to hundreds more exclusive history documentaries by downloading the History Hit